So moving on to the second part of my presentation, which is about the contentions around STEM. What do I see as the tricky things for all of us as we navigate these really tricky waters? And I've mentioned some things there like truths, where we have some research evidence. The myths, they abound, and the opinions are everywhere. So we need to be able to differentiate between those things. So when we're talking about STEM then, we can be talking about the science, the technology, the engineering and the mathematics circles, love Venn diagrams. And the green part there then becomes the integrated STEM. So it's the opportunity to integrate and the cross-disciplinary opportunities that it provides across those subjects. Now, if we have this concept of STEM, then we have an epistemological basis. But sometimes I read and sometimes I hear people who talk about STEM as if it's this separate identity, that has this separate identity out there somewhere that does not have a basis in the 4 disciplines. I see that as really problematic and concerning, which I'll kind of elaborate on. Okay, we see things like this. This is University of South Australia, has put an M on the end of STEM to represent medicine because it's not included in STEM. And I know that schools are doing their various changes and alterations with these acronyms, and can I say I totally understand and that's fine. My point here is, where does it end? And I'd just like to share one that I saw in a Qantas magazine. Science and technology interpreted through engineering and arts, all based in elements of mathematics and music. In other words, it's about curriculum, all key learning areas. But how inventive for this particular school, and it's a school in Victoria, from memory. The problem is, where do we end? So in other words, STEM and the focus in STEM is lost for me in that particular derivation. The other thing that worries me about that is that it actually undermines, in including various things in STEM, so changing the acronym, because you're wanting to be inclusive, which is totally understandable, it actually undermines the epistemologies of your English and your history and your geography that have their own background in terms of knowledge and history that we shouldn't, that aren't less than STEM. They are on a par with us. And I want to say that I think that's really important. For me, it's about a liberal education, and even though I love science and mathematics and it's been my life, I really value English, history, geography, and all those other areas.